Hello, welcome again on this SOC Analyst 30 Days Live Session Series. Today is day 13, or today we will talk about the Linux logs. So, Linux logs are as much as important as Windows. Yesterday we talked about Windows logs, and today we are going to learn about the Linux logs, right? So, uh, do join everyone, make some comments. More people are joining right now, so make sure everyone joining. So tell me first, if you explore the Windows logs which we talked about yesterday, because if you are learning SOC, so log knowledge should be very important, right? So today we will be discussing about how you will analyze the Linux logs. Basically, if you are operating the Linux machine or Linux operating system, then what types of logs you have, or how many types of logs you have, where to find it, how you can investigate it. So that will be the motto of today's session. Okay, so without further delay, let's start our session. Okay, so this is day 13. You can watch all the previous videos that is available on the channel, in which you will find everything related to SOC from scratch. As a beginner, you can learn or start your cybersecurity SOC analyst L1 journey. So I am hosting this SOC Analyst series. Is it completely free on YouTube? This is going to be a 30 or 35 days series. So welcome again. My name is Sumit Jain, and I'm your host for this series. And today's topic is Linux logs deep dive, like what every analyst must know about in Linux logs. So first, let's talk about like why Linux logs are important, why you should read about the Linux logs. Because as you are familiar with the Windows operating machine, but it is very important also to investigate the Linux logs, because in the industry, the web servers, the application servers, database servers, they are normally running on Linux environment. So Linux log basically acts as an digital footprint, similarly like Windows logs, where whether an attacker tries to privilege escalation or an inside misuses the sudo command or the log files. So the log files will basically catch it all. If you know where to look or where to find exact information, you can investigate the logs generated by the Linux machine. And if you are familiar with the logs, how you can investigate it, then everything will be available there. If an attacker tries to log in into your account, if they try to change the user permission, if they try to perform any kind of attack, so everything you can investigate using or by analyzing these Linux logs. Okay, so those logs in Linux or Windows both, those will track everything from brute processes to user login, from network activity or services, sudo commands. Every process, every bit of running process will be tracked, and that's why the logs are very important. So the Linux logs are used for security monitoring, intrusion detection, troubleshooting, and more. Okay, so you will get a brief idea about like why the logs are important. But first, I'm going to show you in Linux environment, where are the logs present. Normally, where you will find or what will be the location in which you will see those logs. So you have to open your terminal and log in as root, or you can change your user account to root account, right? and after that you can type or you can go to a directory called, okay, sorry, I have to first go to the root directory. Here you will find a var directory, variable directory. You have to change your location to variable, and then in the variable directory you will see a directory is created which is log, in which you will find most of the logs. Every logs will be should be logged here, right? So you can change your location to log and see when you listing it, every log should be here, from last log to your web services, from your VPN, from your ports, Redis server, Samba, Tor browser, the boot logs, right? DPKG, DVWA, fail logs, firewall logs, every log should be here. So if I talk about the general location in which you will find the logs, which will be this /var/log. Okay, so this should be the location where you will look for the logs. This will be should be the normal location. Now, as we are talking about the logs, so let's move with the log procedures. These are the Linux common log locations in which you have to identify the exact logs for your purpose. Like if you want to look for login attempts or sudo access or SSH services, then the location for the log file is the var/log/auth.log. So you can read that file, or maybe it will locate it as /var/log/secure, right? It also depends on what type of Linux distribution you are using. If you are using Ubuntu, if you are using Red Hat, if you are using Debian based distribution, so maybe the file name could be different, but the location will be /var/log. Right now I'm using the Kali Linux, so I made this document according to my environment. Okay, so जब कभी भी आप लिनक्स के लॉग्स को मॉनिटर करते हो, लिनक्स के लॉग्स को एनालाइज करते हो, सो मेक श्योर कि आप कौन से लिनक्स डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन पे काम कर रहे हो. जब आपको ये पता चल जाएगा कि आपका लिनक्स डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन कौन सा है, अकॉर्डिंग टू दैट यू कैन एनालाइज इट. Okay, so for login attempts, if you want to see the login attempt based logs, sudo permission based logs, or SSH, then you have to check out this particular file, which is /var/log/auth.log or /var/log secure. If you want to see the system wide logs, then the location will be /var/log/syslog or /var/log messages. If you want to see hardware logs, then /var/log DMESG. If you want to see failed login attempts, so this should be logged in the file /var/log/fail-log, as I showed you earlier. If you want to see the last login activity per user, so the last log file you have to see. If you want to see the web server logs, then /var/log httpd or nginx, right? So I'm going to show you some logs here. See, this is the fail log in which every fail login activity will be monitored. This file contains the login activity of failed logs. So let me open it. So I can open with the command cat. So you can see I do not have any logged here because I not particularly any failed login activity will be recorded, right? Similarly, if you want to check out like your web server logs, so nginx should be logged here or Apache 2 should be logged here, right? So suppose if I go to nginx, then in nginx there will be log with access logs and error logs. If I want to open it, then there is no data available here. Let me check with the error logs. So you will see there is no data. Let me check with the Apache one. Maybe I should have some data in the Apache directory. So here we have the access logs. So let me read it. So I read with access logs, and this file is also empty. So basically my machine is right now is client based machine. I'm not using this machine as a server. So that's why particularly no logs are stored here, right? So analyzing the logs file in Linux is very important. You can easily check the logs in this directory. बस आपको ये पता होना चाहिए कि कौन सा लॉग आपको चेक करना है, ठीक है। आपको लास्ट लॉगिन अटैक एक्टिविटी चेक करनी है, आपको फेल लॉगिन एक्टिविटी चेक करनी है, आपको वेब सर्वर की एक्टिविटी चेक करनी है, ठीक है, आपको कोई फायरवॉल की एक्टिविटी चेक करनी है। सो एवरी लॉग शुड बी हियर, ओके। Okay, moving on. So let's understand these log directories one by one. So why we are seeing the authentication.log file? Because it is this particular directory contains, or it is critical to identify some basic or successful or failed SSH login attempts. Suppose someone logs into your system using SSH. If they are successful or maybe failed, then the log should be recorded on this file. If you want to check unusual sudo access, someone or some normal user run some commands using sudo, then you want to check out the unusual activity regarding sudo, then you have to look for this file. Some basic brute force attack detection, you can check out this file. So this file basically contains the SSH login attempts, sudo activity, or pluggable authentication module logs, which is known as PAM. Okay, so if I have something logged in the in this particular file, so this should be the scenario, like January 1st, then time, the username, the SSH, the accepted password, that the password is accepted, the IP address, the port number or service. So in this particular order, you will see those logs. Are you getting it? Okay, then suppose you want to analyze the sudo uses. So this particular logs show which command was run with sudo. If you are running some commands using sudo, so what command will be run, by whom, from where. So it is very important to track the privilege abuses. Okay, so what to look for in this particular file? You can check out for unauthorized users using sudo, like you have multiple users created in your operating system and want to check out if any unauthorized user basically run some commands using sudo. So sudo attempts will be here. Okay, any escalation attempts. So if I want to show you the sample, which is this. So again, date, time, the distribution, the command, which command is run on what terminal, the home directory or the working directory, the username, the command which is run, right? So everything should be logged in these logs. If you are particularly familiar with the var log, then you can easily monitor those Linux logs. Okay, so let's check if the log is created or not. So what I'm doing, I'm trying to access the file. Okay, so what I'm doing, I'm trying to read the file which is etc shadow. Okay, so the file should contains, as you already know, this file contains the user password information, basically password policy information. And as I access the file, So there should be a log activity recorded. So let's go to the directory. Now let's check out if anything logged here. So basically I have to check out the authentication.log, but this distribution is different. So the authentication.log is not here, but right, we have to check out like what file should be created uh, in the Linux, in the Kali Linux. So according to that, you can check out this. So let me grab something. So I will grab, basically I'm filtering it or searching it. So grep, let me see with sudo and slash var slash log. Okay, I forgot to end the quote. So particularly I need to provide the file name, because right now I'm providing the directory. So let me give some directories here. Suppose I will provide fail login. So no particular activity will be recorded with sudo. So you have to look for every possible file. Okay. Moving on. Suppose if you want to analyze the fail login attempts. So अगर आपको fail login attempt analysis करना है, like अगर आपके सिस्टम में किसी ने लॉगिन किया और उसने wrong password को put किया है, they particularly not provided the correct password, or maybe they are trying to do or trying to launch the brute force attack, then if you want to monitor for it, then you can analyze the fail login attempts. And for that, you can check out the fail log. So fail log file, as I showed you earlier. So this particular file is important for monitoring the brute force attacks, identifying some suspicious login attempts, especially with IPs and usernames. Okay, so you can check out the file, which is slash var slash log fail log, or maybe the var slash log authentication log. There will be a command which is fail log hyphen a. You can use or run this command in your terminal. You will have that particular file, or you can find the file with grep also. So in grep, I made a query failed password and the file name. So if anything was logged using failed password, then you can see the activity. ठीक है, इसके बाद कुछ और यूजफुल लॉग्स हैं जिनको आप चेकआउट कर सकते हो, विच इज स्लैश वेयर बूट लॉग. सो एवरी बूट रिलेटेड इवेंट्स विल बी लॉग्ड हेयर. स्लैश क्रॉन, सो आपके जितने भी स्केड्यूल्ड क्रॉन जॉब एग्जीक्यूशन है वो यहाँ पे मिलेंगे. देन के ई आर एन डॉट लॉग, सो आपके जितने भी कर्नल इश्यूज हैं वो इस पर्टिकुलर फाइल में मिलेंगे. देन बी टी एम पी, यहाँ पर आपको फेल्ड लॉग इन रिकॉर्ड्स मिलेंगे. ठीक है. सो कभी कभी क्या होता है कि अगर आपके सिस्टम में कोई मालवेयर आया है, तो दैट मालवेयर इज सेट वाया क्रोन, क्योंकि क्रोन जॉब जो हम लिनक्स में काम लेते हैं, वी पर्टिकुलरली यूज क्रोन जॉब टू schedule or automate our task, right? Or system services. So some malware may be some persistent or malware is set via cron or system services. So these logs will help you to trace such attempts. Okay, so these are the important logs we have in Linux. Particularly, you have to analyze every possible file you have in var log, and after that, according to your scenario, like what exactly you want to find, like you want to find the failed activity, you want to find out the login activity, you want to find out the SSH activity or some boot related events, any particular brute forcing attempts, right? Sudo access. So you have to check out the particular files. There are multiple files created in Linux. सो अब बेसिकली लिनक्स में इतने ज़्यादा लॉग्स अपने पास नहीं होते हैं, और लॉग्स होते हैं लेकिन वो आपके वैर लॉग में अवेलेबल है। सो आप एक एक डायरेक्टरी को अगर चेक करोगे सो यू विल हैव टू फाइंड इट। और दैट्स वाई इन लॉग्स का मैनेजमेंट बहुत ज़रूरी है, क्योंकि जब आप लॉग्स को व्यू करते हो सो यू विल फाइंड आउट मल्टीपल लॉग एंट्रीज, एंड इन दैट केस आपको समझ में नहीं आएगा कि आपको पर्टिकुलरली कौन सा लॉग चाहिए, right? So you have to manage those logs, and we already discussed about it, like how you can manage those logs using some log management tools. In my series I use the logly, but you can also use some another tools, or you can also forward those logs to the sim tools, which we are going to forward in our next sessions. Okay, so in next sessions basically we are going to forward those logs to the sim tools, and then setting some alert using prompt. So whenever a activity appears, a alert will triggered, and you will have the idea like what actually happens in your operating system or in your services. Okay, so I have some more thing to show you in this particular Linux logs, but before that, I have some announcement. Like I'm going to conduct a network pen testing workshop, which is going to last for 15 days. So the registration now is open. You can register from this is QR. Simply scan this QR and you will redirect to the registration page. So in this 15 days, we will talk about every methodology you will took to perform network pen testing. Okay, this workshop will be start on 18th of August. So you can join it via Zoom. So this will be live. This will be 15 days, and we will talk about the real-time labs. We are going to perform some simulated attacks, some CTF challenges, or how you can basically run or perform or conduct the network pen testing. Okay, so the workshop will be paid. So you have to register it, and then I will contact you later. Again, so now I have crafted some demonstrations using or analyzing those activities or based on the Linux logs. So what you have to do, suppose the scenario is you want to investigate SSH logins and sudo uses using this particular location. सिनेरियो इज कि सपोज करो कि आपके नेटवर्क में किसी ने अनऑथेंटिकली एसएसएच के थ्रू लॉगिन किया है, और दे बेसिकली रन सम कमांड यूजिंग sudo. So you have to analyze the SSH logins, like by whom the logins are created, or by whom the commands was run. Okay, so how you can do that? So what we can do, we can run out or check out this particular log file, which is /var/log/auth.log. In this file, if you want to check out the last 50 login or last 50 lines or the last 50 logs, then you can use the command tail. As you already know about, like the tail command going to display you the last lines basically. So right now using this command like tail -n50 and the file name, so I want to see the last 50 lines. So you can check out the last 50 lines, but that particularly not restricted to the 50. You can check out as much as lines you want, right? And if you want to check the all sudo access logs, then you can grab sudo on this file, but this file should be in your system. After that you can run this command. Then we have a same scenario, like some more commands, like the failed password. So you want to see all failed login attempts. Someone is trying to access in your system, but they are not particularly sure about your password, so they trying to put some invalid or incorrect passwords multiple times. So the activity will be recorded, and now you want to see all failed login attempts. So you can run a command grep then failed password, and the file name. Using this, all the failed login attempts log will be visible, right? And if you want to see all accepted SSH logins, like successful SSH logins, then the command should be grep, then accepted, and then your file name. So these tasks will be you have to perform on your system. Then suppose next scenario is, suppose you want to find users who failed to log in. So we want to detect the brute force activities. So I want to check the all the fail login attempts. So you can run this command fail log -a. So this will display all the fail login attempts. Or you can also check, or you can also run this command which is last b. So in binary, all the failed login attempts will be displayed. So let's check out this. Okay, so I'm going to check out first fail log -a. So as you see, like I have multiple users created. So if any activity with failed login attempts, it should be here. So see, login with the username, the failures, and the latest failures. Okay, so here you will find the 0 because I do not have any activity or failed login attempts here. But if I have, that should be logged in the file, and you can clearly see with the help of this command. So fail log command will basically display you all the fail login attempts. Okay, so you have to provide -a for that, and all the users you have in your system, if they have any failed login activity, then it should be displayed. There is one more command which is last b. So last b is, I think, not available in Kali's distribution. So let's see last. Okay, so the command is last not last b. uh, as I told you earlier, the command should be different because we are using different Linux distributions. So in Kali, which is Debian based, command will be last, but in Red Hat or Ubuntu, maybe it should be last b. So you can see here, the like I reboot the system and then log in again with Kali, right? And when I logged in again, so the time is here. So every possible activity, everything will be recorded here. When I reboot, when I boot, right? So if you know about the commands, it will be very easier for you to analyze it. Like you can see in this particular activity, I reboot my system multiple times and log in with the same users, which is Kali. So that's why only activity recorded or logged here for the user is Kali. You will not find any other user here. Okay, so the last command is very important. If you want to run, or if you want to learn more about the last command, so you can check out the manual for last. So what last command will do, it will display login, logout, and reboot information. Okay, so basically what this command will monitoring, it will monitoring this file wtmp, and this file is present, I think, in your uh, location. So wtmp, this will be the file. So when we run the command, this file will be observed and you will get the information. But if you want to check out the information here, so you can simply list the information. But you can see, like when you open the file, you are not particularly able to read it. So if you know the exact command to look the exact location files or how to open those files, then it should be very convenient. Hopefully you are getting my point. Okay, then suppose you want to see like who logged into your system recently, the recent login activity you want to find out. So last login for each user, every user who logged in into your system. So last login activity you want to find out. So the command will be last log. And if you want to see the complete login history, so as I already run this command in my terminal, which is last. So let me now run the last command to check out the last login for each user. Okay, so every user who logged into my system, you can monitor or check out the logs using this command, which will be last log. Okay, let's run this command. So the last log, and if you enter it, so see, so these are my users. See, this is the username, which is analyst. So this user never logged in. All the users are never logged in, but if you see the Kali or other users, so they are logged in. So the latest or the last login activity will be here. Okay, now again, if you want to detect some unauthorized privilege escalation attempts, like someone used the sudo command with timestamp, or someone used the sudo command to access some of the files in your system. So for that, you want to analyze it, you want to detect some unauthorized activities, then the command should be, you want to check out or you want to see the activities related to sudo. So you can use the grep, then sudo, and the your file. If you want to see your own sudo history, then you can run out sudo cat bash history and grep sudo. So basically we are particularly checking the bash history file. So using this command, I'm listing the bash history, and then in this file I'm grepping the sudo. So you have to perform each and every activity here. Then if you want to check out like what services is exactly running, or what services start during boot. So when you boot in your system, so what services start. So you can check out the command here. So the command should be cat var log boot.log. So when you run the boot.log, you can check out it. So let's check it out. So I'm checking cat var log and then boot.log. So see, every service which is started while booting the system is available here. Like when I boot my system, so a network manager is started, Apache services is started, right? Or systemd host name services is started, mode manager services is started, right? Light DM services, or many more. So every service that is started while you boot your system, so that should be available here. You can read out the file and log in. If suppose some malware is in your system, so maybe a service will be started, so you can check out what services will be started during your boot. If you are finding, or if you find any malicious service, then you can easily remove it or stop the service or terminate it. Then if you want to detect some malicious scheduled task, so basically I want to check out the logs for cron, so you can check out the sys logs and then grab cron. Okay, and if you want to see the current cron jobs for root, if any particular task is scheduled, so the command will be sudo cron tab hyphen l. Let's check this out again. So first I'm going to show you the cron tab. So see, I do not have any scheduled task for root. Okay, so the command will be cron tab hyphen l. So no further no automated or scheduled task for my user. And now if I want to check out the syslog, so let's first see if we have the syslog available. So no, syslog is not available, but we have sysstat. Let's grab cron. So no, this is particularly a directory I'm opened with cat. So that's why it is showing me an error like you are visiting a directory. So I have to check out this particular location. So let's move again. So now let's see what we have. The directory is empty. I do not have any logs here. Okay, so these are some tasks for you. So what I prepared an assignment for you, so you have to complete it. So what you can do, you can log in into your Linux, and then you have to check for the following. Once you do that, you are able to understand the Linux logs completely. So tell me in the comments, like, if you are familiar, now if you get any idea about the Linux logs, or you are familiar with what I showed you today. Tell me in the comments, because learning Linux is also very important in as for SOC analyst, because you are not particularly known, like when you are investigating the logs, uh, you are logging, you are checking Windows operating logs or Linux logs. So we have to learn both operating system logs. Windows part is done yesterday, and today is the Linux part. So that will be the assignment for you. So what you have to do, you have to complete it, take a screenshot, and you have to post it on LinkedIn and tag me there. So I will get the idea like you are performing or doing the task and you are understanding my sessions. This should be not be this I think not be very difficult for you. You can easily complete these two tasks. First, you have to log in into your Linux environment or Linux virtual machine, so the login activity will be recorded. And after that, you have to check out the failed login attempt. So what you can do, you can login into your system with failed passwords, so a failed login attempts will be recorded. And then you have to check out the last sudo uses for last 24 hours, or any unusual cron job activity. If you are familiar with the cron tab, so maybe you can schedule or first create a cron job, and after that you can monitor it. Tell me in the comments if you are getting what I'm trying to say here. How many of you will do it by tomorrow, this particular assignment? Raise your hands or reply in the comment. How many of you will do this assignment by tomorrow? This should be very easy, because अगर आप लोग प्रैक्टिकली परफॉर्म नहीं करोगे, सो आई डोंट थिंक कि ऐसे हमको कुछ भी समझ में आने वाला है. The documents will be available on the drive. You can check it out. You can ask me in the comments if you have any doubt. If you do not have the Linux system, then you should have install install it first. So I got a comment from Jolly, like, must our terminal be on root before doing it? So yes, if you are checking with the root user, then it should be root. Or if you are checking with the local user permission, then it should be not be root. So it's completely depends on you what user you basically wants to log in. So it should be root, but if you are not login with the root or checking with local user, then it should be fine. Okay, so then now tell me the some basic questions I have for you. So the very first question we have is like, which file contains SSH login attempts? So you watch the stream. I hope you are familiar with the log files which are available in your Linux. So tell me in the comments like which file contains the SSH login attempt. So tell me the file name or location. I'm waiting for your comments. Which log file basically contains SSH login attempts? The answer should be present in our slides. I already told you earlier. What file contains the SSH login attempts? Var log, Hans is saying var log, but var log contains all the logs. So you have to be specific, like which actual file contains the SSH login. So the answer is basically auth.log. This will be the answer. So the next question is, what does fail log a shows? If you run the command fail log -a, then what should be displayed? If you run the command fail log -a, so what should be displayed for all users? Any particular thing? If you run the command fail log -a, then what should be displayed for all users? Any particular thing? Yes, it shows all failed attempts. So Hans is right. The third is, where are failed login records stored in binary format? So you have to tell me the location where the failed login records are stored. So what will be the file name? The file name in which the failed login records will be stored in binary format. The command you run is fail log -a, but if you want to tell me the file name, so what will be the file name? Any particular file name you are familiar with, in which failed login records will be stored? Okay, so I'm not getting your answer. So the file name will be fail log. Then the next question is, how can you track sudo command history? You have to check the sudo command history. So particularly how you can check it? So this should be very simple. You have to run with sudo, sorry, grep, or the wtmp. Okay, wtmp is the answer for your last question. Then the answer for fourth question is, like, you have to track the sudo command history. So you have to grab sudo on the file authentication.log. Or the next question is, what logs shows cron job? So particularly you have to grab the cron logs or the syslog. Okay, so if you are using Fedora, CentOS, Red Hat distribution, then the file will be cron, the file name will be cron. And if you are using the Debian, Ubuntu, then the file name will be syslog. So it completely depends on the what type of Linux distribution you are using. So that's why the file name is also different. Okay, so now we have to move with our basic fundamentals of SOC. So in next session, we have to learn about the SIM tools and how you can install the SIM tools in your system. But first, we have to learn about what SIM tools actually works, how SIM tools actually works, what are the meaning of SIM tools, how many tools we have, how you can install it in your system. Okay, so the next session is completely based on introduction to SIM tools. But as we are completing 13 sessions today, so go through with all the sessions, learn about logs, commands, Windows commands, Linux commands, the basics, the networks, log files, how you can find the logs, how you can monitor logs, how you can manage logs in Linux or Windows both. And you can if you are missing or any if you are miss any sessions, then you can easily track with session tracker, or the resources are available in the drive. You can check out the Telegram group or WhatsApp group. And as you already know, I'm running the workshop for network pen testing, so you can register it if you want it. The session will be started from 18th of August at 9:30 p.m. IST. Okay, this session is completely online via Zoom, so you will receive the Zoom credential upon registration, and the workshop should be paid. So you can scan the QR, and you will find the registration link uh, in from which you can register it. So with that note, I'm going to take or end this session for today. So thank you everyone for joining. Make sure to complete the assignment that is basically based on Linux logs. And if you are done with the assignment, make sure to take some screenshots and post it on LinkedIn and tag me if you want. And you can also share uh, these classes links in the LinkedIn, so you will get some reach there. Okay. Any more questions for today? Okay, I'm not seeing any more new questions. So thank you again, everyone, for joining this. Uh, Join the next session, which is about introduction to SIM tools, and then we are moving with our practical part, how you can create alert, or how can you use the SIM tools actually, and then how can you identify logs there. Okay, so wait for the next session. Till then, take care. Bye bye. Good night. See you in the next session. Make sure to like the video, subscribe it if you haven't, as I already told you. Okay, I'm not seeing the new questions. So thank you everyone for joining this. Hopefully you are enjoying the sessions. Thank you everyone.